All right, let's dive right in. Today we're exploring a pretty challenging philosophy, one that uses the symbolic figure of Baphomet to totally reframe our core goals in life. The source material we're digging into lays out 5 powerful keys for redefining the self. And trust me, some of them are going to make you think.
So right out of the gate, this quote sets the tone for everything we're about to talk about: radical balance. The point isn't to pick light over dark or order over chaos. Nope. The idea is to become the very point where they meet, to hold them both in a perfect, powerful equilibrium.
And here's the crucial takeaway. All those things we're taught to chase in the outside world, power, wealth, a sense of belonging, this philosophy says, hold on. It presents them not as prizes you win out there, but as states of being that you have to build inside yourself. The whole journey is inward.
So here's our roadmap for today. We're going to break down how this philosophy completely redefines these 5 huge concepts: power, wealth, spirit, community, and finally, goodness.
First up, power. Right away, this idea flips our normal definition completely on its head. True power has nothing to do with ruling over other people. It's all about achieving absolute, total mastery over yourself.
And just look at the contrast here. The common path, the desire to control others, is called the path of the tyrant. And get this, it's seen as an admission that you actually lack control over your own self. The other path, the path of equilibrium, is all about that internal sovereignty.
So how do you even get there? Well, the source gives us 2 main principles. First, you have to integrate the shadow. That means you have to own your darkness, your anger, your fears, all your inner demons, not to act on them, but to harness their raw energy. The second principle, master the true will. This is about discovering your unique purpose in life and then aligning every single thing you do with it. This whole process is summed up in this old alchemical saying, solve et coagula. It means dissolve and coagulate. First, you dissolve. You break down the old fragmented you, all the beliefs you inherited, all your scattered goals. Then, from that empty space, you coagulate. You rebuild yourself piece by piece in the image of your true purpose.
All right, on to our second key, wealth. And you can probably guess it's not about stacking up money in the bank. Instead, wealth is redefined as a dynamic, constant circulation of value and energy.
The difference is pretty huge, right? Hoarding wealth is like dying of thirst while you're clutching a cup of stagnant, poisoned water. The alchemist's path is totally different. It's about generating a constant flow, about transmuting your everyday effort into real, circulating value. And this approach has 3 core rules. 1, focus on creating real value. Money, that's just the shadow that value casts. 2, practice transmutation. Turn your ordinary work, the lead, into something extraordinary, the gold. And 3, you have to live by the law of flow. To get anything, you have to give something. You have to take risks. Stagnant energy is poison.
Okay, our third key takes us from the material world into the spiritual. According to this philosophy, spirit isn't about just following a bunch of rules somebody else wrote down. It's about the relentless pursuit of direct, personal, hands-on knowledge.
There's a really powerful metaphor for this. Think of traditional religion as a map someone else drew. It might be helpful, sure, but it's not the actual territory. Gnosis, on the other hand, is putting on your boots and actually walking the path yourself. It demands that you question everything and trust your own direct experience.
So what is Gnosis exactly? It's knowing spiritual truth for yourself directly through your own experience. It's built on the principle of as above, so below, which basically means the entire universe is a giant mirror of you. If you want to understand the cosmos, you've got to start by understanding yourself completely.
But the source is very clear. This path is not easy. It often involves what's called a dark night of the soul, a time where you feel completely lost, broken, even abandoned. But this isn't seen as a failure. It's seen as a necessary part of the process, a purification you have to go through before you can see a new spiritual dawn.
All right, let's move on to our fourth key, community. This idea challenges the very reason we connect with other people. It suggests we should unite from a place of personal wholeness, not from a place of neediness.
So, a common community is described here as a herd. People just huddling together because they're afraid, sacrificing who they are just to feel safe. The alternative is called an egregore.
It's a powerful, conscious group formed by individuals who are already whole, sovereign beings. They don't unite out of fear. They unite because they share a powerful common purpose.
The rules for this kind of union are simple, but they're not easy. First, become a whole person on your own before you try to unite with others. Second, always choose authenticity over fake harmony. You want people who challenge you, not just people who agree with you. And finally, you're looking for people heading in the same direction, not necessarily people who believe the exact same things.
And that brings us to the fifth and final key, and maybe the most challenging one of all, the redefinition of goodness. This is about moving way beyond the simple black and white thinking of good versus evil. Now, this is a pretty provocative statement. It basically says that conventional morality is just a set of rules made by the timid to keep the powerful in check. From this viewpoint, real virtue isn't about avoiding evil. It's about integrating everything, both the creative and the destructive parts of reality, into a complete, functional whole.
And this quote just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. A person who is just harmless might only be that way because they don't have the capacity for harm. But a truly good person, that's someone who has the power to destroy, who has that capacity, but consciously chooses wisdom and mercy instead.
This leaves us with a really difficult question to chew on. When is a hard truth, a severe action, actually more merciful in the long run than a comforting lie or a soft response? This philosophy argues that true goodness requires the wisdom to make these tough calls, all guided by your true will.
As we wrap this up, it's really important to say that the source itself admits how disruptive these ideas are. They're not meant to be comforting. They are tools for transformation, and they are designed to completely dissolve the world you think you know.
And it all comes down to this final call to action. The entire philosophy, the whole process, in just 2 words. Break it all down, forge something new. Don't be the clay, be the sculptor. Dissolve and coagulate.